Born in Maracaibo, Venezuela, our protagonist today, Carlos Gonzalez, had a thing for baseball. Having faced the likes of Felix Hernandez growing up, he was bound to be great. He spent his high school years playing for Liceo Udon Perez High School in Maracaibo, drawing the attention of scouts with his majestic swing. He signed an amateur free agent contract with the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2002 at the age of 16. Carlos spent 5 grueling years in the minor leagues with Arizona before taking place in a trade that would send him, Brett Anderson, Chris Carter, Aaron Cunningham, Dana Eveland, and Greg Smith to the Oakland Athletics for Dan Herron and Connor Robertson. Dan Herron would prove to be a good pickup for Arizona. He put up 6.1 WAR in year 1, 6.5 in year 2, and then 0.6 in year 3 before being shipped off. During his time in Arizona, he received 2 All-Star nods and he finished 5th place in Cy Young voting. Connor Robertson, brother of David Robertson of the Texas Rangers, would go on to pitch in 6 games with Arizona before never pitching in the MLB again. He ended the season with 0.1 WAR and would later get traded to the New York Mets. It's safe to say that Arizona won this trade, but little did they know they were getting rid of a superstar. Carlos Gonzalez made his MLB debut on May 30th, 2008, playing center field for the Oakland Athletics. Wearing the number 28, Carlos got 2 hits while hitting in the 8th spot that day. He led the team in hits, doubles, and RBIs on this day, raking up 2, 2, and 1 respectively. Carlos would finally show his power on June 20th, almost a month after his debut, where he launched his first Major League home run. Cargo would go on to have a pedestrian rookie year, putting up 73 hits, 26 RBIs, and 4 home runs over 85 games played. He started only 76 of those. Let's introduce some side characters to our story. It's the bottom of the 3rd team. Matt Holliday is coming up while Trevor Hoffman is pitching. Troy Tulowitzki is on 3rd base. There's no one out. Holliday hits a triple against Hoffman. Tulowitzki scores. The game is tied.
Came in hitting at 340. It has been a 1-for-5 night. To right field. Giles headed back. Giles at the track. He jumps and is unable to make the catch. Around from second base comes Tulowitzki. He will tie the score at 8 as to third goes Holliday with a triple that has tied the game at 8 in the 13th.
8-8. This one swing gave a 47% swing in the WPA of this game. Colorado's win expectancy set at 46% before this play, and it ended at 94%. Jamie Carroll was up next against Trevor Hoffman. He hit a deep fly ball to right field, and the rest is history.
Jamie Carroll, the batter. To right field. Giles is there to make the catch. Tagging is Holliday. The throw to the plate. He is safe.
Bring on Rocktober. On November 10th, 2008, Carlos Gonzalez was traded by the Oakland Athletics with Greg Smith and Houston Street to the Colorado Rockies for Matt Holliday. Holliday would go on to only play 93 games in Oakland before being sent off to St. Louis, where he would later win the World Series. He put up 3 WAR in those 93 games. Greg Smith would pitch for 1 year with the Colorado Rockies, putting up 2 WAR. Houston Street became the Rockies' closer for the next few years, putting up 3.1 WAR in those seasons. Carlos Gonzalez was the main piece in this trade for the Rockies. He would end up putting up 23.8 WAR for Colorado. Let's take a dive into how he got all of that WAR. At 23 years old, Cargo spent the beginning of the year in AAA before being called up on the 54th game of the season against St. Louis. Cargo would go hitless in his first 2 games with the team. He would go on to start in 67 games for the Rockies in his initial season with the team. He would don the number 5, the number that Holliday had worn before the trade. He made his postseason debut on October 7th of 2009 in a series against the Philadelphia Phillies. The Rockies would lose the series in 4 games. But it wasn't because of Cargo. He put up an astonishing .588 batting average with a 1.514 OPS. He would have 10 hits, 2 doubles, 1 home run, and unfortunately only 1 RBI. He would end the series averaging over 2 hits a game. It's time for a side quest. It's Tulo Time. On the mound today for the Cubs is Tom Gorzelany. Troy Tulowitzki steps up to the plate in the bottom of the first inning, where he hits a home run to deep left field. He would score Todd Helton on this play. In the bottom of the second, Tulowitzki would be facing a new pitcher. He would hit a single to left field, allowing for our pitcher, Jose De La Rosa, to score and Dexter Fowler to score, along with Helton to advance to second base. In the bottom of the fourth, Tulo would hit a double to center field, allowing Todd Helton to score on an error. And then in the bottom of the seventh, Tulowitzki hit a triple to left field to complete the cycle, as the Rockies dominated the Cubs this day. Opening day of 2010 was a magical day for the Rockies. Cargo would start the season off hot, going 4 for 5. He would go on to have an all-star worthy first half, putting up 3 total 4-hit games and multiple 3-hit games. In the first half of 2010, Cargo would be batting .314, hitting 17 home runs, driving in 60 runs, and then being a beast on the defensive side of the ball as well. He would make diving catch after diving catch, but being unknown to most fans outside of Colorado and Oakland, Cargo did not make the All-Star game, and he took this to heart. He would end the month of July with 2 straight 4-hit games, including one of the most infamous games in Rockies history. The game was played against the Chicago Cubs with Tom pitching once again. He would start the game in the bottom of the first with a line drive to right field for a single. The Rockies would go on to grab the lead in the second inning, going up 3-0 against the Cubs. Cargo would enter the third inning and hit a triple. He would later score that inning. In the fifth inning, Cargo would hit a double into the left field gap. He now has a single, triple, and double. Just 1 home run away from the cycle. There have been 5 cycles hit in Rockies history to this point. 2 of Cargo's teammates have hit 2 of them. Todd Helton had one in 1999, and Tulo had one in 2009 that we just saw. Cargo had an opportunity to get the home run in the 7th inning. He hit a deep ball to left center field, but it was caught for a sacrifice fly. The Rockies were up 3 runs in the 8th inning, and the pitching staff blew the lead to tie the game 5-5. The next 2 innings were scoreless. The game is tied 5-5. Then history happened.
A walk-off home run to produce a cycle. That would be a nice way to conclude a Saturday night in front of a sellout crowd of more than 48,000. Little pony, Carlos Gonzalez. Deep right. Touch him up. He's done it. Are you kidding me? Come on. Holy cow. Unbelievable. 6th career cycle in Rockies history. It took only 1 pitch. The party's on.
This is the first walk-off home run cycle that the MLB has seen since 1984. He would become the 5th player in MLB history to record this feat. After this home run, Cargo would catch fire, finishing the second half of the year batting .363 with a 1.102 OPS. He hit 13 more home runs and 49 more RBIs. His totals for the year would put him at a .336 batting average, 34 home runs, and a 1.43 OPS, which means that he was considered 43% better than the average hitter. But the Rockies would go on to miss the postseason. They would only get 83 wins, and Cargo would come in 3rd place in MVP voting, behind the likes of Joey Votto and Albert Pujols. He led the league in batting average this year, along with hits. I'm not here to argue that Cargo should have won the MVP. In my opinion, it should have been Albert Pujols. All 3 players putting up fantastic numbers during the season. Pujols hit 42 home runs. He had only 1 more RBI than Cargo, and he was second to hits among the 3 of them, only being behind Cargo. But Joey Votto was an on-base percentage machine. Cargo only played in 145 games this year, yet he came in 3rd place for the MVP voting. Could he have pulled it off if he got the extra 20 games? We'll never know. Although Cargo did not win the MVP in 2010, he did bring home the Silver Slugger and the Gold Glove for his position. We saw Cargo continue to perform in his 2nd full big league season in 2011, but the injury bug started to catch him. On May 19th, after hitting a double over the center fielder's head, Cargo would pull up abruptly between 2nd and 3rd. He didn't look injured at first, but he ended up having to leave the game. He would return the next day, and he would play through whatever was bothering him. On July 3rd, he dove for a ball in center field. While diving and catching the ball, he slammed into the wall and had to be carted off the field. It was a wrist contusion. He would end up missing a few games after that. And then on July 21st, he re-injured the same wrist. He had to leave the game in the middle of an at-bat. After missing a few weeks, he would come back in September. He would put together a .309 batting average, 11 home runs, and 36 RBIs, before his next injury on September 15th. This injury would take him out for the rest of the year. But despite all of these injuries, this was not a bad year statistically. He put up 4.3 WAR in such a short time, along with hitting 26 home runs and driving in 92 RBIs. If we were to stretch this performance over a 162-game season, he would have had 5.5 WAR. He would have been in contention for a second straight MVP finish. 2012 would prove to be his worst year since joining the Colorado Rockies. He would put up only 1.6 WAR, but he started to grow in national popularity. His first half proved to be a hit with a .330 batting average, 17 home runs, and 58 RBIs. He was able to make the All-Star game, being named the starting DH for the National League. The second half of the year was not as friendly to Cargo. He only hit .261 with 5 home runs and 27 RBIs after the All-Star break. He would be shut down on September 24th, where he injured his hamstring. He would say to reporters at the Denver Post, "It's frustrating because I want to play, but I don't feel like I should with what I have right now." He said, "Of course, if I feel good tomorrow, I'll walk into the manager's office and say I'm ready to play." He would not come back. He would end the season with 99 career home runs. 2013 came quick, and it wouldn't take long for Cargo to hit home run number 100. Cargo would go on to dominate the MLB, putting together an insane first half, earning another starting nod in the All-Star game. He would slug 25 home runs in the first half, along with 64 RBIs. He would only play in 19 more games after the All-Star break, only hitting for 1 home run before he was injured again in August. He would spend most of September playing only as a defensive substitute, but was not allowed to hit again. Coming into 2014, Cargo was a 2-time All-Star. He would put up fantastic numbers between 2014 and 2018, putting up a total of 5 WAR, 637 hits, 106 more home runs, 356 RBIs, and having an OPS plus of 102. His best season would come in 2016, where he would put up 2.3 WAR, along with getting another All-Star Game nod. In this All-Star Game, he would be accompanied by teammate Nolan Arenado. Cargo would also participate in the Home Run Derby this year, not making it past the first round. Colorado made the postseason for the first time since 2009 in 2017. They would go on to play a wildcard game against the Arizona Diamondbacks, his old team. Cargo would have a good game. He would get 2 hits and 1 RBI, but the Rockies could not hold on. Their pitching completely collapsed on them. And this was accompanied by Archie Bradley hitting a triple in the 8th inning to completely ruin the Rockies' chances of winning the game. He would score 2 runs on this play, and after that, all the air was sucked out of the Rockies. There was no more they could do. In 2017, the Rockies would offer Cargo a 3-year deal worth $45 million. Cargo would turn it down and decide to look elsewhere. He ended up coming back in 2018 and signing a 1-year deal. He wanted to run it back with the Rockies one more time. But they found themselves back in the postseason in 2018. Back-to-back postseason appearances. Rocktober, baby. They played a cold and windy game against the Chicago Cubs in Chicago to determine who would win the wild card that year. Cargo would end up with 1 hit, but the hero of the day would be Tony Walters, who would have a single in the 13th inning to win the game for the Rockies. The Rockies would go on to play Milwaukee, who they would lose to in 3 games. Cargo did not play well this postseason. He had 2 hits, one of those hits being a triple, and 2 walks. It was an unceremonious way to go out for Cargo. In 2019, Cargo signed a minor league deal with Cleveland. He would struggle during this deal. He would hit .210, only hitting 2 home runs, 1 double, getting 10 walks, and striking out 33 times. Cleveland's manager would say, "We weren't seeing the offense that we needed," and he said that. Does it come with another 100 at-bats? We don't have a crystal ball, and none of us is smart enough to know what the next 100 at-bats might bring. He would later get cut by Cleveland. After being cut by Cleveland, Cargo would go on to play for the Cubs, and he would flash in his first game, making an insane catch to save the game for the Cubs. He only played in 15 games for the Cubs before being sent down and eventually released, electing for free agency. He would not play for any other teams this year. In 2020, Cargo would sign a spring training invite deal with the Seattle Mariners. After the season was postponed due to COVID, Cargo was eventually cut. They wanted to go with a younger crowd. Cargo had a tumultuous career that a lot of people tend to forget nowadays. People forget his Griffey-esque swing and how dominant he was in his prime. Cargo would end his career with 1,432 hits, 234 doubles, and 785 RBIs. These numbers, of course, are not Hall of Fame worthy numbers, but behind these numbers are some of the best years in Rockies history. He would put up 24.4 WAR over his 12-year career. He would grab 4 Gold Gloves, 3 All-Star Game appearances, 2 Silver Sluggers, and 1 top 3 finish in the MVP. Let's not forget the joy that Cargo brought to baseball fans over his 12-year career. Thank you for taking the time to watch this whole video. Special thanks to the people at SB Nation, John Boys, Kofi, and others for inspiring the creation of this project. Please leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Have a great day.